What it do, baby? Welcome to episode 6 of Triple Threat Talk. I'm your host, Connor Ryan. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I hope everyone was able to watch sports. Hope everyone is doing well. Big fighting weekend we just had. Screw Jake Paul. Mike Tyson's legs just weren't in a good position. John Jones brutalized Stipe Miocic's rib cage and liver, and that was really cool. But you know what we're here to do. You know what I'm talking about, and that is ball. Shout out the Hoyas. Prime time. What it do? We're going to talk about the weekend of games, some of the performances, things that I'm seeing from teams as we're continuing to settle into the NBA season. Unfortunately, no Instagram questions today. Didn't get any responses, but if you do, remember, I record these on Mondays and Thursdays, and I put the poll out onto Talkin' Triple in the Instagram page on Sundays and Wednesdays. So if you have a question, let me know. Or if you just happen to check out my story, be sure to leave your question there. So, might as well just get right into it. You know me, I'm a Celtics fan. So what are we going to do? We are going to cover the Boston Celtics first. They only had one game this weekend, which was nice for my heart rate. But still not great for the heart rate. It was a tough one against the Toronto Raptors. Really great game. Really great game on both sides. Went into overtime. The Raptors showed up. They came to play. I really was questioning, will the Raptors have a legitimate showcase tonight or that night on Saturday? But they did. They were coming off of that was their second night of a back-to-back, and they were traveling from Canada to Boston. And so I very much kind of looked ahead to Tuesday. We'll get to that game in a minute or in a little bit. But, I very much approached that game as, I guess, a joke or very much a look-ahead game and kind of saying, all right, the main focus isn't going to be the Raptors. It's the Cavs on Tuesday. And so I wasn't really totally worried about it, but the Raptors came to play and they very much showcased the weaknesses that the Boston Celtics have. And the first one is interior defense. Kristaps is a huge part of that, and having that security blanket of somebody who is able to move so well and so freely in the paint is really important. And with that came Jakob Poeltl deciding, hey man, I deserve to be on a better team. I deserve to get the notice and the recognition that I should be getting, and really proved it by putting up a career high 35 points on like 80% shooting and like 12 boards, which is easily the best game of his career, especially against the defending champs. RJ Barrett had a triple-double. I think it was 25, 10, and 11. Don't quote me on that. And yeah, there was no point in the game where I was like comfortable with the Celtics lead. It always seemed like we would get a stop. We would maybe make a layup, maybe make a three. Toronto would come right back down. They would make a three, or like a momentum stopper, kind of. And so that's kind of great to see, especially for them, because they're without Emmanuel Quickley. They're without Scotty Barnes. Grady Dick didn't really play that great on Saturday. And so they very much are a young, emerging team and are trying to identify themselves as the season goes along. They know that they'll have RJ, Emmanuel, and Scotty for at least the next like 4 or 5 years together, but it is the pieces around them. I don't know if Poeltl will be there much longer, but what we saw was potential, and if he does stay, then that'll be great for them. But unfortunately for the Raptors, that is, the Celtics pulled out the win. No Drew Holiday for the Celtics. Kristaps is rehabbing. He's moved along in the rehab stage. He's now practicing with the main Celtics and looks to be on track to be back in the lineup maybe by Christmas. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be a hell of a Christmas present for all the Celtics fans out there. But it was kind of a grinding game, and JT did his thing, had his 24, and didn't shoot the best, but made the shots when it mattered the most, especially a big one, which we'll get to in a little bit. Jalen played well. He's definitely finding his rhythm. He led the team in scoring on Saturday. Derek provided Derek White things and hit big shots when he needed to. And we had a vintage Al Horford performance, scoring 16 or 18 points off the bench. Or not off the bench, but like kind of as like his secondary role. Neemias Queta played great. Sam Hauser is getting back to the shooting stroke. Pritchard didn't play great. Not great for the 6th man of the year conversation, but it is still early. And it's great to see, I feel like I end up stressing about Celtics basketball way too much and kind of overanalyzing everything, when in reality, it's a game. I have no control over it. It's not me out there. It's 5 other guys against 5 other guys who I don't know any of them at all. But pretty cool if I did. Anyway, but the play of the night, obviously, in overtime, Jason Tatum, game winner at the buzzer from 3. The fact that the narrative of Jason Tatum not being clutch, not being a good shooter, not being a player that can win a championship as a number 1, the fact that all of those have been forgotten and now people are trying to like cover their ass and say, oh yeah, I've always said Tatum's like a top 3 player in the league. No, you haven't. Just get off. He is a top 3 player in the league. I don't care what anybody says. We'll get to some people who are in that conversation a little bit later in the episode, but we're talking about the Celtics right now. I don't get why why specifically the Saturday night regular season game, which is the 15th or 14th game of the season for the Celtics, why that got so much coverage in regards to the 2-minute report the next day. So if for some reason you didn't see it, Celtics had the ball tied, I think it was 120-120. Let me just double check for all of you. 123-123. With about like 8 seconds remaining, Jason Tatum catches the ball on the right wing. Jaylen Brown is coming off of a screen from Neemias Queta comes up off the screen, and as he is going for the ball, he gets pushed by Davion Mitchell. And Davion Mitchell pushes him to the ground, and no foul was called. What does Tatum do? He reacts, dribble between the legs, step back 3, game winner. Shot was off in time, no problem. Everyone goes home happy. Celtics fans especially. The next day, the NBA officials 2-minute report comes out. So in the final 2 minutes of every game, they have like a report that basically talks about like, oh, here are some of the missed calls that were like announced in regards to the end of the game. There were 4 missed calls. It was a Jakob Poeltl travel on the possession before, a foul on Jason Tatum in that same possession which would have been called after the travel if it was actually called, which led to a Jaylen Brown block in Celtics ball. The officials confirmed that the Davion Mitchell play should have been a foul, which would have given Jaylen 2 free throws, and the Raptors didn't have any timeouts remaining. And then also the big one, Jason Tatum traveled. If you look at how he's controlling the ball, he jabs with his right, and you see him lift his left and move it about 2, 3, 4 inches forward. Is that a travel? Yes. Was it called? No. Because in that situation, it was not as blatant of a travel to say, yep, let's call the travel play. Am I saying this as a Celtics fan? 100%. I am not denying that. Is every ref going to call that a travel? Maybe. It very much depends on the situation, depends on the person having the ball. It was not called. So why the hell did every single NBA Twitter page or NBA broadcast decide, you know what we need to talk about? Instead of like the 8 or 9 games that are on Sunday throughout the day for NBA basketball, why don't we just cover this Jason Tatum travel that should have been called? So NBA Central, go fuck yourself. Bleacher Report, you can go fuck yourself as well. Bleacher Report, the last time you guys, and I know Bleacher Report isn't listening, my Twitter page has 100 followers. This clip probably won't even make it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make it. Go on the Twitter page. Bleacher Report, if you're listening, the last time you guys posted a L2M, like a last 2-minute report, foul call or just violation in general was, oh, that's right, the 2018 finals when George Hill was shooting a free throw and Draymond stepped on the line. Do you want to know what game that was? Game 1 of the 2018 finals where J.R. Smith ran basically the complete other way and lost the game for the Cavs. So why the hell are you covering a random ass game for the Celtics in November? Like, what are you doing? You are supposed to be a non-biased media program. Newsflash. We'll talk about this in a little bit. But Julius Randle traveled on his game winner against the Suns yesterday. I don't see a post. Does NBA media hate Jason Tatum? Yeah. Do people have a personal vendetta against the Celtics? Maybe. I don't know. What I do know is the coverage of it is ridiculous. It was a game-winning 3, and people and these fan pages are trying to just be like, oh, they wouldn't have won it. Okay. If the officials were actually calling the right plays, Jaylen Brown would have been at the line for 2 shots. Simple as that. So it is what it is. Celtics, we'll talk about the Celtics upcoming matchup in a little bit, but Celtics beat Toronto, and Toronto is like successfully tanking. They're like close in every game. They're just like not pulling it out at the end, or they're playing teams that are just beating them out at the end. So pretty interesting to see. I think Toronto is like a piece away. I really do. They're a very good team. They're just getting unlucky at times. Injuries have really hurt them so far this year, but we shall see. So next on the docket, we got two divisional teams. Actually, another divisional matchup. Coincidentally enough, I forgot the Raptors are even in the Atlantic Division. We're going to go to New York. We're going to talk Nets, Knicks, Brooklyn versus New York. Funny thing is, Brooklyn is in New York. I'll let you guys make sense of that one. Boom. They had a doubleheader. Not really a doubleheader. They had a game on Friday and then a game on Sunday. Mainly be talking about the Friday one, but I'll throw this little snippet in on the Saturday one or Sunday one. Cat came back from injury. He wasn't playing on Friday. Provided a nice 26, 15, and 6. And then Josh Hart, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. OG Anunoby, 24 points, 8 rebounds. But the real story is the game on Friday. Jalen Brunson led the way, 37 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists on 60% shooting. OG Anunoby, 25 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals. Mikal Bridges, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Josh Hart, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. Great shot by Brunson at the end. Little jab step, bang the 3 on the left wing. Next ensuing possession, about 6 seconds remaining. Dennis Schroeder comes all the way down, goes for the layup, blocked by Mikal Bridges. The Garden is going crazy. Great to see from the Knicks. And not just great to see in terms of the fans want them to win, and also like know that this is their chance to win. We needed to see what they can do without Cat. Cat is very much their X factor. It's the same way that Kristaps was for the Celtics, and it's great to see that the Celtics are winning without Kristaps, and they're only going to get better when Kristaps comes back. But the fact of the matter is, my biggest question mark was how are the Knicks going to handle the non-Cat minutes? Because it's not like he is Mikal Bridges or Jason Tatum where they're going to play like it's going to be hard to get them out of the game. It very much is a like, hey, can you play kind of thing? Like, are you good to go? And sure, the Nets are the Nets. I'm not saying the Nets are the best team in the NBA, but they're an NBA team. And Cam Thomas really, really provided the heavy lifting for them. 43 points on 72.7% shooting, 7 of 10 from 3. The conversation with Cam Thomas at the beginning of the year is, okay, he might win the scoring title. Is he just going to be a shot chucker? Is he just going to sit from 3-point range and just huck up threes like it's nobody's business? At times he will, but he also is one of the best shot creators in the league, and he is incredibly important to the Nets offense. I think the Nets could easily make a push at Giannis. If I don't think Giannis is going to get traded anymore, but they have the draft capital, they have the pieces, and like the young players to say, hey, we want to make a push. If they get Giannis, they get a defensive interior threat. They get a true superstar that alleviates the stress on Cam Thomas, Cameron Johnson, Dennis Schroeder. Those are 3 players who can play more free. Don't have to worry about what's going to happen if they miss a shot. Why? Because they have a safety blanket and a 6'11", 6'10" freak who can drive to the lane better than anybody in the league. So that'd be pretty cool for the Nets. But the rest of the team just didn't show up. I think Dennis Schroeder, Cam Johnson, who else? Like Dorian Finney-Smith, they all shot below 40%, like 30%, some of them. That's just not winning basketball. You can't have there are too many examples this past weekend of teams that have a player carrying their offense and the supporting cast does nothing to help them out. Like, it was ridiculous. And I think that's why so many more teams are going into kind of this balance factor of like sure, the Celtics have the 2 true stars in Tatum and Brown, but they also have Derek White, they have Drew, they have Kristaps and Al and Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard. These guys who can alleviate stress. They are role players, but it's like they're super role players. They're super wingmen, basically. With the Nets, they are like their best players are the super wingmen. If you get them the star, then they have the chance to really bring it forward. So, but underratedly, the biggest storyline is Ariel Hukporti. I don't know if I'm saying his name correct, but Nick's Twitter was buzzing, and I started watching some film on him, and he played great. 7 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 blocks. The biggest issue was, can we maintain interior defense without Hartenstein? As of right now, it's yes and no. Like the Karl Anthony Towns stat of like leading, like has the worst or has the highest field goal percentage against at the rim with like 90+%. That's not very good. If you can find, and obviously Mitchell Robinson being hurt, Hukporti can come in and provide this energy and defense similar to how Neemias Queta is for the Celtics. Be a spark plug, be a battery for the team, provide the defense that you know you can provide. You with the Knicks, you don't have to score. You have a plethora of scorers from top to bottom. If you are in there, you know your role is to play defense. Isaiah Hartenstein just happened to be a very good playmaker, like a very underrated playmaker, and also have a very balanced ability to score. If Hukporti is able to develop his post game even just a little bit, then I think that really sets them moving forward into like a little bit more ease, a little bit less like caution without Mitchell Robinson. So I think it'll be interesting to see. The Nuggets suck without Nikola Jokic. Two bad losses. Simple as that. They lost on, was it Friday? I think it was Friday. They lost on Friday to the Pelicans. Now, if you don't know, if you haven't heard me talk about the Pelicans have basically lost everybody on their team. So they don't have, they don't have Zion. They don't have DeJounte Murray. They don't have CJ McCollum. They don't have Herb Jones. They are missing four of their main guys. They got Trey Murphy back finally. He hasn't really been shooting great. Brandon Ingram has been off and on from time to time. But we did just see the first game of non-Jokic minutes or non-Jokic total Nuggets play, and it is bad. It is really bad. There's the stat where it's like, I think it's like the on-off stat of when Jokic is on the court, he provides a plus 68 like win expectancy for the Nuggets, which pretty good. Like 68 and 14. It's a really good season. The win expectancy when he is off the court is 1, which would be the worst season ever. And this is very much the issue that I had with the Nuggets. I was concerned from the get-go that yes, Jokic has the ability to stuff the stat sheet better than anybody. No question about it. It was the question of usage. It was the question of, can he maintain this for a long period of time? The answer is no. Mike Malone knows that the offense is him, and it was bad. And the reason, and it's all coming from Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray comes back, and he truly, like, he got I think it was a $200 million contract for, I think, 4 or 5 years, which it would be deserved if you were able to play with Nikola Jokic for every second. Jamal Murray, 6 of 16 and 2 of 8 from 3 is not going to cut it. I don't care what anybody says, you know? I know they played yesterday against the Grizzlies, which they lost by 15 to, which another injury battered team, a team that doesn't have Ja Morant, a team that doesn't have a good amount of players. Like Marcus Smart didn't play. Ja Morant didn't play. It's like when you have two of the opposing team's guards completely out. Gigi Jackson was also out. That is losing basketball. That those should be wins. You are playing against teams that don't have their best players. So you have to be able to take advantage of that. Now, I get it. Denver was without Aaron Gordon, and I know they will be for a little bit more amount of time. But you cannot collapse. You have to be able to hold up when you have Jokic, or without Jokic. Michael Porter Jr., 4 of 12 from the field. Dario Saric, 4 of 10. Dario Saric cannot be taking double-figure shots. Julian Strawther, great job. 6 of 13, solid. Jamal Murray, 6 of 15, not great. Christian Brown, 5 of 11. Dario Saric, 4 of 10. Peyton Watson, 3 of 7. There was no one who shot more than 4 shot attempts who shot above 50%. That's really bad. Like, you had nobody score above 20. And neither did the Grizzlies, but they had a 20, a 15, an 11, a 10, and another 10 from Jay Huff. Shout out Jay Huff. And the Nuggets had 19 points from Strawther, 13 points from Murray, 13 points from Brown, 10 points from Saric, 10 points from Michael Porter Jr. Like, Michael Porter Jr., 4 of 12, 0 of 4 from 3. That is not good. They need Jokic back, and they needed him yesterday to be back. I don't know when he's coming back. I actually don't even really know his injury or if he's just resting. for a little bit of time, but it needs to be figured out pretty quickly. Because if not, then it's going to be an issue. Speaking of issues, there's a team in Philadelphia by the name of the 76ers. I don't know if you know them, but they are dog water this year. They are 2-10. As of this episode, it is currently Monday night. They are up 6 to the Miami Heat in Miami. Without Joel Embiid, I presume. I can double check that for you all right now. Right now, it is not fun to be a Sixers fan. It really isn't. It is tough to root for a team of this caliber. Joel Embiid is playing. Never mind. So that's on me. He was presumed doubtful for the beginning of the game, but even with Joel, they haven't played well. I understand the attention he attracts. He is a child on the basketball court. He flops more than anything, and it is really tough to see one of the most dominant players, or supposed to be one of the most dominant players in the world, play as if he is a stick figure. But hey, if there is any sort of light to take from the Sixers, it's this. Jared McCain is going to win Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. I've been watching Jared for the past couple of years, ever since he was in high school. I think he was at Coronado in California. I can't remember exactly. Went to Duke last year, obviously. I think he was the 15th pick this past season in the draft. His versatility is incredibly good. He's very strong, underratedly strong. He is proving his impact on the defensive end. There was a stat from StatMuse. Let me pull it up for everybody. It was talking about total points like per minute, and it was saying all time. And now I know the sample size is rather small, but it's pretty good. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so the most points per minute by a starter, minimum 2 starts. Now I understand it's a very small sample size. Michael Jordan 0.79 points per minute. Luka Doncic 0.82 points per minute. Joel Embiid 0.87 points per minute. Jared McCain 0.91. That is the highest in NBA history points per minute. That's pretty good. It's pretty good in my book. If he can maintain this level, doesn't even have to be this level of impact, but just like 75% of it, it's his Rookie of the Year to lose, or it's somebody else's for the taking somehow. They're going to have to play a whole lot better. So shout out Jared McCain for having an incredibly crucial and also just an impressive start to the season. His shooting is very, very effective. Let's check what his stats are already. 5 of 8 shooting already, 12 points, leads the team in scoring, 3 assists with a steal already, and he's shooting 2 of 5 from 3. That is the second best on the team currently, behind Caleb Martin in terms of 4+ attempts. So, shout out Jared McCain. Keep doing your TikToks, man. Keep doing your TikToks. We just talked about a team that is extremely low on expectations. Let's talk about a team that are extremely surpassing them, and that is the Detroit Pistons. As I said, they had the first game of a back-to-back against the Raptors on Friday, and they pulled out the W. Did they play yesterday? Again, sorry for all this. I can double check. But the main storyline is, yes, they did. They beat Washington yesterday. And this kind of ties in perfectly what I was about to say. Cade Cunningham is playing very effective basketball. Sure, he isn't the best shooter at times. He's taking a lot more shots, but he is third in the league in terms of triple doubles. The only two players that are higher are Nikola Jokic and LeBron James. Behind him is Domantas Sabonis, who is notorious for getting triple doubles. So shout out Cade Cunningham for playing good, effective basketball. Jaden Ivey had 28 points. The Pistons are good. I said this last year, and I'm saying it again. They are a much better team than people realize. Malik Beasley has fit into that team tremendously. Tobias Harris is providing for him. JB Bickerstaff. I truly don't understand how Monty Williams ruined that team. But he made it seem like they were the worst players in the world. JB Bickerstaff is proving, no, these guys are really good. It's just they weren't being utilized to their fullest extent. And it's important to have young and up-and-coming players play to the level that they know they can play at. Like, you have to be able to play your younger guys, and that's what Bickerstaff knows what to do. He understands, like, hey, Cade Cunningham is, if he wants to improve, he's going to have to understand, like, these crunch time situations. Same with Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart, Malik Beasley, and then you have the veterans that come in at, like, sure, it was a bad game against the Bucks, especially in overtime, but Ron Holland knows, like, all right, that's what it means, like, to be in that situation and to have a moment like that. He understands that now. And that's what builds character. That's what builds, trust with one another. If you can go through that with your guys, like they did last year, and rebound, I think they're already at 7 wins, I want to say, or maybe 6. Yeah, they're already at 7 wins. They had 7 wins their 7th win came like February 7th of last year, of this year, technically, last season. So that's pretty good. They're 5th in the East right now. And if they beat the Bulls tonight, then they're at 500, and that's a young team, but they're a damn good team as well. So, man of the weekend though was De'Aaron Fox. Having a 60 ball and then having basically a 50 ball the next night. I understand the underrated conversation is held for those players who don't get a lot of media attention, don't get a lot of like talk about like, how much they impact the game. And I understand De'Aaron Fox deserves the attention and has had the attention. But is it fair to say that De'Aaron Fox is one of the most underrated players in the NBA? Like a consistent 20 plus point per game scorer the last 3 seasons, and the last 5, he's averaged 23 points or more. If you want to include 6, then that makes it 21 points, 21 plus points or more. His field goal percentages, like not the best 3-point shooter, but his field goal percentage is consistently around 45 to 50. He is a very solid playmaker, very good on ball defensively. He is a one-time All-Star, and he made an All-NBA team in 2022, 2023. Whenever people talk about top 5 point guards, it's like, all right, it's Shea, it's SGA, Luka, Steph. And then it's like, throw Tyrese in there. Jalen Brunson. Trae Young. And then people are like, I guess De'Aaron Fox. No, De'Aaron Fox is a top 5 point guard right now. He's playing like it. Put some respect on the young man's name. Jeez, 60 points? And then following that up with a 49 piece? For reference, he shot the 60 on like 70%. 60 points, 22 of 35 from the field, 6 of 10 from 3. With 7 assists, 3 steals, and a block. Against the Jazz, the 49-pointer, 16 of 30, which is just above 50%, 75% from 3 on 4 attempts, so 3 of 4, 3 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals. His movement off the ball is just as good as anybody else in the league. He's one of the fastest players in the league. He turns on a dime so effectively. De'Aaron Fox deserves the respect. And he has all of mine. There, I've said it. I'm a De'Aaron Fox fan. Keep doing your thing, young man. Keep doing your thing. The guy's 26. He's the same age as my brother. He's Louise. Come on, De'Aaron. Cavs still undefeated. I don't know if you knew that. 15-0. Beat the Hornets yesterday without Donovan Mitchell, which, I get it. It's the Hornets, but winning a game without your best player is winning your game without your best player. It's effective. It answers a lot of questions. And it was great to see. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley still playing the best basketball of their career. Darius Garland looks like an all-star. And Donovan Mitchell is playing like an all-star, like he always is. But the most important part are the role players. It's the Ty Jerome. It's the Georges Niangs of the world. It's the Isaac Okoros. Final Woj bomb. Shout out Isaac. Shout out McKeechern. But this team is so well balanced. They're finding their groove. The question is Tuesday. It's tonight. It's against the Celtics. This is what it comes down to. If you can beat the defending champs and go to 16-0, then you have the league on notice. Truly, like their schedule. If you go through their schedule as of right now, it's good in some parts. Like they blew out the Lakers, blew out the Warriors, like no problem. But you also have close games against the Bulls multiple times. You have a couple games against a beaten down Bucks team. You have some games against the Wizards and the Hornets now and everything. Like those aren't like crazy selling point games. So it will definitely get tougher as the season goes along. But I mean, fuck FanDuel for making that 82-0 bet. Like that's basically begging people to just lose money. Because guess what? They're not going to go 82-0. It's simple as that. Bam Adebayo, 30-11-7 on Friday against the Pacers. Bam is one of my favorite players to watch. He is incredibly talented, extremely versatile, he's just so good at basketball. Seeing him get going is very, very good to see. I know he didn't have the best game yesterday. By yesterday, I mean on Sunday. Let me just double check that for all of you. Let me check. He had 24 points, 8 rebounds. Pretty good. Shot 50% from the field. So he's finding his rhythm. Especially with with Jimmy Butler being out for the past couple of games. Like Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo are really stepping into hey, this is our team. But Kevin Love is providing good minutes for them. Jaime Jaquez is kind of having that sophomore slump. Duncan Robinson with a big game yesterday. Nikola Jovic playing well. So the Heat are going to be the Heat. As long as Eric Spoelstra's at the helm, they're going to be a solid team and they're going to be tough to beat. But I think it will be interesting to see how it kind of just plays out with the rest of the season. A team that I gave a lot of shit to and really just proved me wrong in the last week, the Portland Trailblazers. Are the Portland Trailblazers on a little winning streak? Let's see. They are. They've won 3. They've won 3 in a row. So not a big deal. But Donovan Clingan is playing well. Jeremy Grant is providing. But the real showcase is Shaedon Sharpe. Against, let me see who they played on Saturday. I think it was Friday, sorry. I think it was against the Wolves. Am I crazy? No, it wasn't against the Wolves. Who did they play? Against the Wolves on this past Wednesday, they end up winning by 8 in a very good game. And guess what happens? He scores 33 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. How does he follow that up with a game yesterday against the Hawks? 32 points, 5 assists, 3 steals. And both of those games, he shot 52%. Okay? Shaedon Sharpe is coming into his own. He's getting comfortable. They're starting to really get the ball rolling. You know, Chauncey Billups has been criticized a lot as a head coach. Has it been deserved? Yes. But is he figuring it out? Also, yes. Donovan Clingan is making a push. He wants to be the best defender in the league. He wants to be rookie of the year. Anthony Simons has his moments. Jeremy Grant. Rob Williams is really stepping into his own. Delano Banton, former Celtic. Like, seeing Rob Williams play good basketball always makes me happy. Rob will always be one of my favorite players ever. He is just like what Neemias Queta is for the Celtics now was what Rob was, except more effectively, better offensively, a little bit better understanding of defense and everything. Rob Williams playing basketball is fun to watch. I'm glad he is getting the recognition he is getting. I think he had like 14 points, like 9 rebounds, and shot like perfect from the field or something on either Wednesday. Yeah, on Wednesday. Like, he's playing so well, and even seeing him shoot threes, which is really cool. Like, I miss Rob. I really do. But gotta do what you gotta do. So Anthony Davis continues his MVP push with 2 great performances from the weekend, helping the Lakers get to 2 wins. Against the Spurs, he had a 40-point performance with 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks on 54% shooting. And, you know, just followed it up with a light 31, 14, 1 assist, 2 steals, and 1 block on 60% shooting against the Pelicans. But what did I say last episode? Everybody, tell me. Thank you. I said it is the bench. It is the role players. It is the players beyond LeBron James and Anthony Davis that are going to determine the impact of the Lakers. What did that quirked up white boy Dalton Connect do? He said, "Con man, I got you." 14 points on 54% shooting against the Spurs, 27 points on 58% shooting against the Pelicans. He is starting to look like a pro's pro. He's starting to really step into that JJ Redick role of saying, "Hey, you need a 3-ball? I got you. You need like a nice little fake dribble handoff? I'll get to the paint for you. I'll slam it home. You want some solid defense? I got you." Dalton Connect, that quirked up white boy from Tennessee. He knows what he's doing. He's got the skill, and he will cook you. He will cook you. This ain't no unseasoned chicken. This is well seasoned. He got that paprika. Okay? Barbecue chicken alert. Shout out Dalton Connect, man. Crushing it. But let's go back to that Spurs game. Victor Wembanyama had another Victor Wembanyama type performance. 28 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks on 48% shooting. 4 of 13 from 3. I understand. In the 50 ball, he went 8 of 16, 50%. I was one of the few people that said he's still taking too many threes. I get, if you have the space, take it. But 90% of the time, it's just he's taller than the other guy. He isn't catching it in rhythm. He's just kind of standing still and making a move a little bit too late. He was out against the Mavericks on Saturday, but Wemby really needs to identify his play style, because I think if he doesn't, he'll lose his identity. He's gonna lose, like, all right, I know these spots work for me. I know that here I'm going, like, these are the places that I know, like, I feel most comfortable in. The moment that he's able to say, all right, cool, like, I know what works for me, I know what works and I know where, then he'll be able to kind of surprise people with a 3-pointer or a pull-up mid-range shot. If he's able to work on the rectangle of the paint just outside of that and inside of it, and then kind of like transitional threes, that's really going to elevate his game even more. So I know he's going to be so good. It's just really tough to see like these kinds of performances. Very good performance nonetheless. 28, 14, and 5, a steal and 2 blocks is very good. But then you look at the 3-pointers and say, you guys lost by 5 and you missed 9 threes. If you convert half of those into 2s and make half of those, you win. So I know that's not like great math, but like that's just how I think. Speaking of the Mavs, busy weekend for them. They went 2-1, lost to the Jazz, beat the Spurs, and then beat the Thunder yesterday. I'm gonna say it. Peter Suro, shout out Peter. He asked me a question. I think it was for episode 3, but he didn't answer. He didn't text it to me in time before I recorded, but I told him my answer. He asked, "What's like your hottest take you got for me?" Luka Doncic is the most overrated player in NBA history. There, I said it. Offensively, he's one of the best players ever. I'm not denying that. But people act as if he is like this once in a generational type talent. Like we've never seen this before. Let me think. There's a man from Indiana who won 3 NBA championships while also winning 3 MVPs and is by far one of the greatest players in one of the most historic franchises history, who had the same play style but couldn't really execute it as much as Luka does. Why? Because he was considered a forward because he was 6'8". Oh, also plays better defense. Who am I thinking of? Oh, Larry Bird. Let's stop with the whole like Luka Magic thing. Yes, what he does on the offensive end is impressive. The fact that he is able to make some of the shots he makes is impressive. Do you know who else can make tough shots? Is Cam Thomas. Do you know who else can make tough shots? LaMelo Ball. There are a lot of tough shot makers. He doesn't score the ball that efficiently. And I guarantee you after seeing this, people are going to be like, oh, why do you hate Luka so much? I don't. Okay? I'm pointing out things. I'm pointing out flaws. He doesn't shoot the ball very efficiently. He doesn't play very good defense. He's extremely lackadaisical on the defensive end. He isn't versatile. If you have a pick and roll and he switches onto you, barbecue chicken. That's like if you need as much evidence to ask, is Luka that good of a defender? Go watch the 2024 NBA Finals. Watch him be a traffic cone. Connor, you're a Celtics fan. Yeah. Ring me. No Larry? Anyway, sorry for the rant. But it's true. It is simple basketball rotations. If you are a help defender in a situation while your man is next to the basket, you either block the lane for the pass or you block the lane for him to come to the hoop. It is simple. It is simple basketball rotational defense. Why are you on the exterior, closer to the 3-point line of a passing lane that literally, for reference, the basket is here, right? John Collins is here. The ball is here. Why was Luka here? You don't have enough time to react. You don't have enough time to slip back in to stop the ball. And then you look and you're questioning your coach. You should have been the one who understood, hey, that is my spot. That is my man. I need to face guard him, or I just need to hover at the key. Block the passing lane or block your man. It is simple as that. Okay? If you called for a blitz and you're the blitz man, the guy's going to drop down and then you have to worry about the wing. That's not the problem. The problem was him being lackadaisical in space. There was another play in that same game where he literally allowed a crossover and he got shifted over half a foot and just gave up on the play. I didn't know the criteria for being one of the best players in a generation just meant you had to be a somewhat good offensive scorer. Like, what are we doing here, people? You're a Celtics fan. You must ride Jason Tatum's dick. Yeah, so what? It's an opinion. Get off mine. How about that? Lost to the Jazz, beat the Spurs, and then they beat the Thunder without Luka. PJ Washington really must hate the Thunder. The same way Jamal Murray hates the Lakers, PJ Washington hates the Thunder. He had like 6 or 7 straight games of not playing. What did he do? 27-12 against the Thunder. That's pretty ridiculous. So shout out PJ Washington. I hate you. Speaking of the Thunder small ball movement, it's like it's working until it doesn't. And they faced the doesn't. Yes, they only lost by 2 to they only lost by 2 to the Mavericks. Yes, they were without Luka, but it really, like, Daniel Gafford had a great game, and you aren't going to be able to stop an explosive like 6'10", 6'11" center if you don't have a big man, and you can't really put Jalen Williams on him or Jalen Williams the entire game. So, hopefully the Thunder are going to get healthy. It was just PJ Washington decided to be the devil and really just cook up some magic. So it is what it is. The Suns need Devin Booker back. Simple as that. Or no, sorry. The Suns need Kevin Durant back. It's as simple as that. I know they're without, especially in tonight's game against the Magic. Again, this is Monday. I know they're without Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Yusuf Nurkic, who I know Yusuf Nurkic hasn't been playing well, so it might be beneficial. But the tough part is for the Suns, Devin Booker has another career game, 44 points, and is able to provide such great shooting and playmaking ability for your team, and you just squander it away. And sure, people are going to blame him for the end result because they had 4 opportunities and weren't able and squandered it away. But like, you guys just got out muscled, especially Yusuf Nurkic. They got out muscled by a small ball focused Thunder team, and then you let the game slip away from your fingertips against the Timberwolves. So there's just a lot that needs to be done in Phoenix. And finally, speaking of the Timberwolves, great weekend for them. Kind of interesting, like back-to-back performances with playing like an offense where it was like a one-man Superman team. Like, they beat the Kings when De'Aaron had his 60. They just beat the Suns when Book had his 44. I know that's not a great philosophy for winning, because as soon as somebody else has another good night, then it's like, oh, we lost kind of thing. But I know Ant had like 37 against the Kings, and Randall had the game winner, which the L2M called it a travel. So grow up. But why was Royce O'Neal flopping? I don't know. But yeah, they're playing a lot better. Their offense is definitely finding a flow. Dante DiVincenzo had some big moments. But just gotta improve day by day. So yeah, that's the weekend recap. We're gonna get into NBA Cup Tuesday preview. It will be pretty quick. Not too much analysis, not too many thoughts. Again, no Instagram questions today, unfortunately. If you do have any questions for me, please text me. Please DM me on Instagram or Twitter. Get my Twitter up. That's where I do a lot of my thoughts and opinions on day-to-day basis. Or you can check out my longer thoughts and opinions post-game on my blog at triplethreattalk.com with hyphens in between triple and threat and talk. So, yeah. NBA Cup Tuesday. We're back. We're first week of the NBA Cup is done. If you want to see the rankings, you can look them up on your own. There are 6 games on the slate. I'm gonna go through them all, let you know who I think will win, everything like that. Charlotte at Brooklyn. I think the Hornets are gonna win. Why, you ask? Because, well, I think Charlotte just has a little bit more of an effective team, and at times will squander it away. But LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Trey Mann, like those are 3 valuable scorers where I feel like the Nets are kind of relying on a little bit of luck to step into some of their performances. So I'm going to take the Hornets in that one. The Nuggets at Memphis. If Jokic plays, then I'm taking Denver. If not, then Memphis. So I gave my reasons earlier. It's pretty simple. Pelicans at Mavericks. I got the Mavericks. I think Luka comes back. But it's just the Pelicans are so injury depleted. It's just an issue at this point. Oklahoma City at San Antonio. I know what I just said about Oklahoma City being so good and them being one of the best defensive teams in the league and having very good offensive firepower. But I'm going to choose the Spurs because if you don't have a center and you're going against the tallest player in the league, I'm going to say it, that matchup doesn't really work. So I understand it's not 1-on-1, it's not 2-on-2, it's 5-on-5. So I very much could be wrong, but home court advantage. Spurs fans are excited for this season. I know because Wemby's just improving with every game, but I just think he might have 40 pretty easily, and hopefully he doesn't take too many threes. Utah at LA Lakers. I got the Lakers. Just there's no stopping AD. There's no stopping Bron. If the white boy duo of Austin Reeves and Dalton Connect continue to play like they do, they'll be fine. There's one more game. You all know it. Celtics, Cavs. Cavs are coming to Boston. Undefeated versus the defending champs. I'm going to take the champs. I understand that there were some games that Donovan Mitchell was out during the playoffs last year. And I know Darius Garland wasn't in the best health in regards to situationally because of the broken jaw that he actually got when he was playing the Celtics last year back in Boston. But the champs are the champs. It's at home. They understand the magnitude of this game. I thought Kenny Atkinson put it very well for the Cavs. They are aware of the magnitude of this game. They aren't going to back down, and that's great to see. Drew Holiday is going to be healthy and ready for tomorrow. The Celtics have 2 days worth of rest under their legs. The Cavs have 1, and they're traveling to Boston. So do I think it will be close? Yes. Am I being a homer for choosing the Celtics? Probably, but just my thoughts. And I think this will just be interesting to see, like, this is the Celtics without Kristaps. This is the fully healthy Cavs. How are things going to be handled? And it very much could be just a Eastern Conference final preview. So it will be very interesting to see, but I got the Celtics. So just to run through again, I got the Celtics beating the Cavs. I got the Hornets beating the Nets. The Nuggets beating the Grizzlies if Jokic plays. If not, vice versa, then the Grizzlies beating the Nuggets. I got the Mavericks beating the Pelicans, the Spurs beating the Thunder, and the Lakers beating Utah. Shorter episode, this one, but I hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you all had a fantastic time. Player for the day, Grievous Vasquez. New Orleans Hornets legend. If you don't know who the New Orleans Hornets are, man, you're young. Grow up. Anyway, love you all. Hope you have an incredible day. And I will see you all on Friday for the next episode of Triple Threat Talk. Peace.